Welcome to Tuesday night. On behalf of First Amendment Sports, I'm Ken Meringolo. This is, thank God, it's Tuesday. He's Kevin Ricca.
Celebration Tuesday, barely, but we're still celebrating.
As I noted in our tweet, a little more clinching, a little less clenching is where I'd like to be over the next few weeks. I think we have a recipe for that. Once again, shout out to EO. If we had credits, someday we will. It would say original score by Eric Anderson. And once again, thank you for my Spotify Wrapped. I'm not gonna live that one down anytime soon, and I hope I can eventually stop talking about it, but not yet. Manner speaking, Andrew, Robert Cohen, EO, Greg Martin, Rhett. I see. I said Andrew, AGH, and of course, in studio and hanging out with us tonight, Ken Harris, all the way from Isle of Palms, South Carolina. Also, straight out of Bishop McNamara, class of 85, is that right? 82. It's all the same. Those are some great years. Wearing a banger posse jersey. Ricky Sanders signed. Gary Clark signed. Art Monk, we're going to get that done. So we're happy to host one of our dear friends and a friend of First Amendment Sports, Ken Harris. So he'll be piping in, I hope, throughout the evening with live commentary. He's also on the board because he loves you guys as well. We are down a man. T is not with us tonight. I just want to put to rest. So this isn't a Devondre Campbell situation. This is more closely related to like a P. Diddy situation. You know, this is HR. And listen, I can't comment on an ongoing investigation. But the rumors that you may have heard about things that may have happened in the green room when I was not there, allegedly.
You are absolutely complicit in all activities involving Timothy Bolt Strachan.
We are hoping. Hopefully, we'll see him on the board tonight. We got some funky audio, according to Greg. But we're going to fix that.
Last
week it came in and out. We'll see if we can't.
Funky.
Yeah, a little funk. We'll figure it out. We'll get there. But the game that was the New Orleans Saints. What do you got? Oh, yeah. It's not as small. It's like
How do you think we get this whiskey week in, week out?
It takes a village, and we are.
It was Ken Harris, to be honest.
Here, wait. Move your phone over here. Sometimes the cell phones bang it up a little.
Got cell phone interference?
I don't know. That was like a thing from the 2018 years. We used to show up in the basement and the poker table, and it would be like, "What's that sound?" And all of our phones would be like sitting on piles of wires, and we're like, "Let's try taking the phones off the wires," and it worked.
Pull the red one.
Always pull the red one.
Clip or pull? What is it?
I don't know, but I mean, I hope you're cutting something eventually, in terms of wires.
It's gonna be the red one.
All right, cut the red one. We got the win. Here's the things we're not going to do tonight. Or that I'd like to say we're not going to do tonight. And you have veto power. Things we're not going to do tonight. We're not going to play the clock stopping and how many 0.15, 6, 7 seconds it was that woulda, shoulda, coulda been on the clock. We're not going to play the 3 catches that Terry almost got that would have given him a 10 catch, 250 plus yard, 3 touchdown performance that would have, put this team in a different stratosphere. We're not going to play some of the more egregious referee calling, down the stretch. I didn't like being that guy when we were getting boat raced every week, and I don't want to be that guy when we're 9-5. So I just think those are the kind of things we don't need to. I mean, listen, I think not spending any time on that and instead saying, despite things like that, and despite a professional football team coming, figuring out how to get a 30-minute half out of themselves against us. 20-19, you escape with a win with a rookie quarterback in December. Listen, bad teams lose in December, good teams win in December.
Yeah, I don't care anymore about anything, how pretty our win is. Does anybody? I mean, no, we don't like it when you have, and I always talk about negative plays, Ken. We haven't had to talk about them this year.
No.
That was the one thing I will talk about. The only thing I will say, the 8 sacks for 37 yards is the most we've been sacked, most yards we've given up in the sack game all year. while simultaneously having 9 penalties and 84 penalty yards, which is the most penalty yards we've had in any game all year. So that's 17 negative plays for 121 yards that we had to overcome. That was the one thing that got me, because if you look at each possession, look, man, our punts, sack, hold, sack, hold, sack, sack. That was a double sack. There was 8 sacks. I'm not going to belabor this. My point is this. We all saw every possession. There was either a sack or a hold, and it was bonkers because it seemed like these officials, they just didn't seem to enjoy us all that much. That's all. It was like Snyder days all over again. Like, let's take a whack at these guys. Who gives a shit?
The calling. I thought the calls were egregious. I didn't like them. But
I'm not bitching.
I'm bitching.
It felt personal. I don't know why. It was the first time all year. I was like, again? What are we doing? So 84 yards on a team that hasn't been penalized like that heavily since early in the season, that was a bit much. We got to clean that up, obviously, before next week. But that was all I wanted to talk about. Just getting those plays out of our system. Having the worst combined negative plays and yardage against and pulling that out at the end because our defense made one play at the end, I'm fine with that. I didn't like the clenching that was happening as you spoke of.
It's a lot of clenching.
I was a bit sore on Monday, clenched out.
As a fan of, growing up as a fan of the O's, growing up as a fan of the Bullets, growing up as a fan of the Caps, and obviously the Redskins, a sports town with plenty of teams to love as a kid, and when you're the Maryland Terrapins, if you go through a long stretch of bad seasons and badness. Washington Federals. Yeah. The Castles, obviously the women's tennis team. That's not
Stallions.
The Stallions, the Spirit. We can do this for a while. I'm okay with that.
Washington Cosmos.
The Go-Go. Don't forget about the Go-Go. The Washington. That's our G League, right?
Did you already say Castles, you psychopath?
I did say Castles. Listen, you get a chip on your shoulder about refs. Everyone thinks it's their team. We've come to realize in our old age that everyone thinks that. And I get it. But
the Generals.
But this time is different. This is like a classic, I really think this Stripper's in love with me situation. When you're like, the referees are always bad, and you want to convince, no, but this time they were really bad. It's like, listen, I gave her my number. She's going to call.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to rescue her from stripping. So, this.
She was like, timekeeper. Shh, count to 3.
This was real. This refereeing was especially bad. And
nine.
How do you get to be a professional referee? This is the one thing. I'm not going to harp on any calls. We're not going to play the slow motion of the clock. There's a guy in a striped shirt standing on the sidelines while a live play is going on. The guy gets tackled in the open field, in between the hash marks. In the game of football, the clock does not stop for that. There's no world, not even in Pee Wee. If you get tackled in the middle of the field, this doesn't happen. The referee runs out to the field. You see him. Hockley was right. The guy stopped the clock. What the hell was he thinking? That, to me, of all the bad things, that was so blatantly crazy and insane. I hate, the guy's a guy. He's got a family, and he made a mistake. But that can't happen. This is $1 billion+ industry on a weekly basis. If a guy gets tackled, the whole game of football is predicated on if you're tackled on the field, the clock doesn't stop. That's at the top of the list.
We were on the wrong end of the rules book for a majority of the previous hour of real time. So obviously it hurt.
Yes,
but I thought it was definitely someone was easily distracted. There was some voodoo going on.
Yes.
Yeah. There was no referee stopped anything. This was just everyone was panicky, and the guy went I don't know. Go Saints.
Yeah. I mean, are we? Is Patrick Mahomes over there somewhere?
I was yelling. I was like, "What? The whole world's going to be talking about." I felt like such an old ass, but you know what?
I hated the fact that we won. I was able,
and every other old ass would be like, "We shouldn't have been in that position in the first." Fine, true. Both things can be wrong. We shouldn't have been there, and they shouldn't have done that with the clock either.
Which makes Dan Quinn's reaction so much better. They asked him about it. He's like, I'm going to take the high road. Because the truth of the matter is, especially if you're in the business and you make your livelihood at it, if you just get started, there's no stopping. Because he's right. Anything he would have said about that game and the way it happened would have been right, and he still would have been wrong for saying it. So good on him. and
We won.
we won. So got to get ready for Philadelphia and got to move on. 20-19, 9 wins. Well in control of our playoff destiny with 3 games to go. I had some thoughts from the game that were a more positive situation. So first thing I thought, we talked about this last week. Marshawn Lattimore plays. You don't hear his name called. That's what you want. The guy, 0 targets, 0 completions.
53 snaps.
53 snaps.
Game ball.
Game ball, dude. You watched their entire offense. They didn't just not throw to that side of the field. They treated like there wasn't that side of the field.
And if the team he played for just did that, then to me, that seems like a pretty good indication. We got ourselves a ball player.
That's right.
May you please pass the green ice?
And it forced the ball to St. Ristel's side, where he capitalized with a pick. A little bit of a killer scenario where St. Juice gets benched, but he still plays 3 plays and draws a defensive penalty. Which
get all handsy in there, Benjamin.
And I didn't like the call, obviously, but I think the referee was kind of like, "Hey, listen, you can't. I'm going to call a penalty on Benjamin St. Juice."
He's like, "Is that 25? Is that St. Juice? Is that the guy who's on film?" Oh, he's handsy.
Yeah.
Could you pass that red breast, please, sir?
Oh yeah, of course. Courtesy of Ken Harris.
Ken Meringolo.
Straight out
via Ken Harris.
So, anyways,
I don't have any bad guy friends named Ken. I promise you that.
No, we're not good villains at all. We're more in the rom-com. We're a great rom-com, great buddy comedy, cop movies, like a blue collar, like a story about something like maybe a boxer from the 40s. I don't know. I think, especially with a face like this, you probably believe that.
I think Ken Harrison just moved ahead of Ken Meringolo there for a
He's
minute.
he's like Mickey.
He didn't have to do anything to get there. He just let you keep on going.
Let him talk his way.
Bring a bottle of whiskey, gain the number 1 seed, and never have to say a word. You pro. I love it.
Well, again, he has a little bit more Ken years on me.
You got it.
Let
me just be positive real quick. We just ensured a winning regular season. Only the 6th in 25 years. The 6th winning regular season in 25 years. Let's celebrate the shit out of that. I mean, are we kidding here?
That's huge.
A winning season. That's a really big deal heading into this season. If someone would have said, "You guys are going to have a winning season," I would have shit myself. Honestly, that would have been in a happy way.
I was going to say,
and like the most, you guys know what I mean.
As if you need more reasons to shit yourself. I thought you already had a long enough list, but let's just keep adding to it. Apparently,
well, it would have been here half an hour ago, but never go to Hangry Joe's on Tuesday before the big night.
Taco Tuesday.
It's Hangry Joe's, man. It's that Nashville style.
Yep. You get some buttermilk.
Hot. There was definitely buttermilk involved.
Jeremy Chin and Bobby Wagner. We talked about. I thought it would be Jeremy Chin. He actually he should have had maybe a couple more plays before he got hurt. Bobby Wagner. They benefited so much for 2 reasons. One, they're in the middle of the field. If you take away one side of the field, all of a sudden their job is made a hell of a lot easier. They were able to be a little bit more instinctive, move around a little bit, smarter, and as a result, I thought they were both, especially in the first half. I thought Jeremy Chin and Bobby Wagner really benefited a lot from Marshawn Lattimore's presence.
Yeah, our defense was pretty badass. It was cool to watch. It was fun. It was fun seeing 23, but never really seeing them, and then watching them get the game ball at the end, because the whole time I was just thinking they really don't want anything to do with them. They really don't. They know not to. They're sure of this, especially if Derek Carr's not out there. You do not take a backup quarterback and try and pick on a dude like that. And it just gave me it made me so happy, and then the eagerness to hand him that game ball afterwards and show everyone what we got. You can just see how proud everyone is of this new shiny toy, and everyone wants everyone to see it. And that's exhilarating for me for 2 more years to have a shut down dude out there. We get one more guy like
below
that
market
with St. Ristel out there. All of a sudden, we're talking about some serious. Well, all right. I don't want to get ahead of myself here.
Watching Marshawn Lattimore do what he did, Jalen Hurts is going to, he's still going to throw to A.J. Brown if Marshawn Lattimore's covering him. Kirk Cousins may or may not be the quarterback, but he'll still try Drake London with Marshawn Lattimore there.
In the world of NFL, Kirk Cousins gets a crack to "you like that us."
Yep.
That's happening.
But the
He's not
point
getting
is,
benched before then. I don't believe, no matter what happens.
if you come to town with, or for them to stay home, it's Jake Hayner and Spencer Rattler as your two quarterbacks, the only two guys that can go for you. That even becomes, I mean, like the game plan, really, you think like Hayner and Rattler really executed the game plan to perfection, because I guarantee you the defensive category. No, the game plan as in never ever throw to Marshawn a lot, like even by accident.
No, we're going away from his side. We're
the zeros,
all of our checks.
That's where they get an A+. Right. They got an A+ for adhering to that.
I'll give that to your boy Rizzy.
Rizzy
was guy. Like, here's what I know. Lattimore is not house calling us. That ends it. That's curtains for us. So don't put it near.
I don't think he should. I think he should be renting his house, and I don't think he should be looking for real estate to buy. That's just my take. I am not a Darryl Woods guy. I don't know. I think he just rubs me the wrong way, but I also know we've all seen coaches of 3-4 win teams in December. It's not the greatest job in the world.
When the clock ended at the quarter and the field goal was missed, and he was adamant that he just wanted to be pissed. I was like, all right,
he gets to be pissed. Did you see him unload on that punter 2 weeks ago? So a play goes, like the punter punts it to a guy that they didn't want to punt to. Okay, don't throw to Marshawn Lattimore. There was like, don't punt to this guy, and the punt got to that guy, and the guy made a play. The punter comes to the sidelines. It's not like he dropped the ball. It's not like he laid into him, and he laid into him long enough and hard enough that the camera stayed on him. That Kamara had to come over and kind of separate them. And meanwhile, the punter's not said a word. He's just getting berated on national television for kicking the ball.
Hey, coach, he's the punter.
I mean, I'm talking like Earl Weaver getting in this guy's face, the punter, and Kamara separates them, and then he comes back like Earl Weaver goes back on the punter, and it's like I'm like, all right, I'm out, dude. I am out.
That's offensive production anxiety, and he is, and he's reflecting it upon poor punter.
It's tough. I thought St. Ristel staying on the outside. He's a natural slot. They kept Igbenegany.
Come on, you had this nailed earlier.
I know.
Igbenegany. You have to say it quickly.
You got to say it quickly. I know. I always think that. Igbenegany. Yes. He played the slot, and he thought he did fine. But the St. Ristel story continues to be a big one.
He's a badass.
There was continuing to replay that clip from the draft where Nick Saban, when we picked St. Ristel and Nick Saban on the air live, which we all saw and we watched it, we're like, oh, this is great. Everyone says great things about guys on draft night. But Nick Saban called him pound for pound the best football player in the draft. And we got him. And I mean, he's starting at outside corner in his rookie year. We drafted a guy in the first round not too long ago who ain't even on our team anymore. So getting that right is so huge. But he plays an elevated brand of football. He's capable of playing on the outside. We want him on the outside. Again, to your point about
he can play wherever.
Yeah, you have a scenario where if you were to find a upgrade at the third corner somehow, some way in free agency or the draft, you're basically not you're not getting back to Champ Darryl prime time, but you're getting pretty damn close in terms of talent at three corner spots because we got two.
I'm sorry, and I agree with everything you just said. Also, Greg just heard me say there ain't no way, like in the NFL world, you just bench Kirk Cousins before the big game against the Skins within the hour.
So I saw a headline that said that Raheem Morris
Phoenix time.
So they because like within 2 hours ago, it was just we're not sure.
Within the hour, the Phoenix gets the
So that's fascinating to me.
The tip of the cap.
And I want to talk about that because I saw this headline 2 hours ago. Morris Cousins not sure if he's QB1, and I saw the headline on ESPN. It was a top headline, and I was like, "Holy shit, you're not sure." That's not a good situation to be in. So what you're saying is between 2 hours ago and now, they were basically like, well, if we're not sure, that means he's not.
That's beautiful. It's a very terribly fiscal situation to be. It's not good for them financially.
He's guaranteed money, right?
So much guaranteed money, and you already have Penix on the squad, but you're coming into the home stretch here. There is 3 games left, and they are in a prime position.
Changing quarterbacks,
and they're
playoffs on the line.
Change, but guess what? You go 5 games, 1 freaking touchdown, 9 interceptions, and your percentages, and you just look shaky as shit. Then you're gonna get it.
So I watched the Falcons game last night. beginning to end. Kirk did not look good. He did have that touchdown to Drake, but not only did he not look good,
First one since week 9. First touchdown pass since week 9.
So for a while, I was looking back, and ironically, Desmond Ridder was playing for the Raiders last night, a guy who was drafted by Atlanta and was a starter there not too long ago. But they've cycled in the Taylor Heineke's. They've cycled in. They had ever since Matt Ryan. Like, there's been no. Arthur Smith basically went like 1940 style, running football. Our Georgetown prep guy. But like they haven't been a prolific passing offense at all. And last night, it wasn't even that Kirk didn't look good, because he didn't. They chose to run. Almost like Jerry chose not to run.
Right.
Like, they just chose to run. And it was they ran the ball on every down, and Kirk got a third down throw here and there, and when he did, it wasn't good. He threw behind guys. He was off timing. Guys ran open in front of him. It was shocking, because he's got 2 more years left. And I look at him. I watched him play the whole game last night. I've been seen him play a lot this year. He's not great, but he's still he's going to get paid to play. He's going to get paid to play for quite some time still.
I get it, but she's already jobbed the system. But how about Penix? He's not Mr.
Job the system. Yes, job the system.
You think? But Penix isn't exactly Mr. Athletic Runner. He is more of a drop back in the pocket. He's had multiple knee surgeries. He is a pocket dude. They're going to continue doing the same thing. This is what they're going to do. They're going to run the ball, and they're going to go play action, or maybe not even play action. That was for Kirk, and that was what they were talking about last night, that they could not protect.
No.
So they're going to get rid of the ball quick and let him try and be a little more accurate. It's kind of crazy. Maybe he's showing them something in practice, or maybe just Kirk showed everyone that it's you don't like that right now. They don't like it down there in Atlanta.
So I like Penix. I think he's going to be a good pro. I think he's going to. In fact, I will go so far as to say I don't think he's giving the job back to Kirk.
We just got to stay off that Penix helmet, because that's 15 yards in the NFL. You know what I mean?
It is.
And our best pass rusher seemed to be all over last quarterbacks.
That was.
I know. It just kept happening.
It was so.
So let's make sure Dante stays off that Penix head. No Penix head for us. 15 yards.
Keep
dirty. It's a dirty 15 yards.
I don't like it, because I don't want to get because I think it will give him a spark. I think London and Pitts and Bijan and Algier and those guys, I think that it will give them. I don't know. Hopefully, maybe the offensive line, but I think it gives them a spark, and I don't want them sparking. Right before they play us.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins isn't Mr. Spark.
No, he's not sparky.
He's not that sparky.
He would have had a great game against us. That's the thing I'm glad about.
Me too. I was like, you know what? He's going to Daniel Jones the shit out of us. Then he's going to wear a chain back on the flight and do some terrible Opie Taylor-ass rhyming, and we're going to be sick to our stomachs.
That was happening.
But that was the old us. It was
100% happening. Yeah. So the fact that unless Penix gets hurt this week, or
Ken Harris got the Giants, so oh man,
what might make the change with the Giants? I see. Of course, they got the Giants this week. A lot of people, not that people were picking the Giants to win, but certainly it is a. So who's he going to go against? Is it Boyle who's quarterbacking for the Giants now? Tim Boyle, the guy's been in the league for a hot second. He throws
Jimmy B.
By the way, he throws a rifle. If you think about yourself, how does the guy? He's been in the league for a few years, few different teams, and he's just like that big, tall guy. Just sits back and then he puts his arm back.
I have no idea who his ass is.
So he throws a laser, and that's what he does. He's a professional thrower, and we don't know who he is, but he just he sticks around because his arm is better than most arms. It'll be interesting if Penix can't get things going early, because the other thing Boyle learned out of the gate when he was on the field this week is, I'm just going to throw it to Malik Neighbors as often as I possibly can. And that worked out for him to some degree.
Yeah. Typically at Kirk Cousins' age, it takes Penix at least an hour, to get started. But listen, there's different ways to get fired up these days. And
they take some chews. There's some chews for that.
Yeah, that Shannon Sharp will tell you.
Speaking of touch, the deep ball not there. It's not a it sucks.
Okay, well, you said we weren't going to talk about it.
Well, so because it's a combination and talking about the pocket.
But you did specifically say, and we're not going to talk about the 3 passes.
We're not going to lament that we missed him, but I think just talking about Jaden's touch on because he's so deadly accurate.
I know he was lasering. By the way, at that point in time, those were 3 of 6 incomplete passes. Dude was 20 of 22 for 200. He was on fire, but he did. Listen, Terry could have, maybe should have, could have, maybe.
He definitely stopped on one of those routes.
I know
by
why
accident.
He slow up. I'm not sure, but I know this. On the one, it was the laser, and it could have had a little touch, and the other was too touchy when it should have had a little more laser.
And it was pass interference. The third one was pass interference, and it was egregiously. It was like when they teach refs in ref school, like that's pass interference. Tyler Biadasz, I think, pretty much guaranteed himself a Pro Bowl spot after this past week.
by non-participating.
He might be like an MVP candidate. All of a sudden,
he is the man, dude. And listen, I'm glad we got a guy named Dieter that was a veteran guy and blah blah. But now you understand what type of player we have there as a starter. And hey, that's a badass D line. Dieter was going up against some guys that
Yeah, Hayward's no joke.
No, exactly. And it showed a little bit. And they said Biadasz's fever is already down, this, that, and the other, and we hope to see him back. Specifically need him badly. Oh boy, do we need him badly this week.
I thought another positive thing, and we talked about it on the show last week, and maybe you weren't super excited about it as a super sexy segment of the show, Sex Minutes.
Oh boy.
I got a little upset about the slide and what they're teaching quarterbacks to do and the forward slide and the way they're getting them racked up.
Oh, God.
So out of the gate, Jaden Daniels was doing the tumble, the I'll tumble for you at the end of every run.
He does both.
But we talked about there being a time and a place for sliding, and he did the slide in the open field when no tacklers were around him, and no one was going to mistake what he was doing for trying to make a play, and he didn't get touched. But anytime he was inside the hash or near defenders, he went down right around their legs. They jumped over him. He didn't take He took 8 sacks. He got the shit beat out of him. But he didn't take unnecessary collisions with linebackers, at safeties when he ran the ball. And I just thought that the tumble that he does, not all the quarterbacks are doing it. Like maybe some are, but the JD tumble is I think it's gonna be sweeping the nation.
You heard it here first. Ken Meringolo, slide doctor, slide professional, slide enthusiast.
I just think we're training these guys to get literally decapitated because it's like a dice roll.
By we, I would like to say that I have nothing to do with the training of any professional quarterbacks in this day and age.
I mean, we're giving them slip and slides.
Slidings. I'm not there. No, I get it. I just, life comes at you fast in this league. You're trying to get down and protect the goods. You get down any which way you can.
I guess so.
There's different times and different risks and different.
Yeah.
Okay, time to pull the chute. Sometimes it's too late.
There's a reason why slot wide receivers, a slot wide receiver should slide, but they don't slide because they would, they're not allowed to slide.
Is this slide rule? Are we going slide rule 101?
No, I'm just saying.
Now you got slot receivers sliding.
No, they don't slide because they're about to get crushed, so they just get down. Like that's what the quarterbacks need.
Little receivers get down. A lot of times the speedsters outside love to get down.
Got to get down.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my wrap of my wrap of topics for the Saints game. We came out with the win. Plenty of good stuff to talk about.
Thank God.
A terrible enough taste in your mouth because of the way things ended and the way it was regulated, officiated, and like you can't look at yourself in the mirror if you're a Redskin and not realize the manner in which you just almost didn't show up in the second half.
Yeah, no, we were just sloppy.
Yeah, because
we play hard as shit. Coach calls them tough as shit. I think he's right. We do everything 100 miles an hour, physical shit. There's no. It's not like we're not playing up the tempo. We were just dumb and sloppy. That's what happens.
I thought that the plan would be more about pressuring the younger quarterbacks. So we got pressure, but we blitzed. I think we only blitzed 6 times.
Yeah, we heated Spencer Rattler up on the first play, and the second play, he throws that ball that Chin is running under, and it slides in there, and I'm like, this son of a bitch, Spencer Rattler. I mean, he's kind of a prick. I mean, he's just kind of a non-likable entity. I'm not saying he's a hateable guy who did something terrible, but if you ever seen his footage from high school and he's just shitting all over his high school receivers, and he's the most arrogant dude of all arrogant dudes. He's like owning it and wearing it. It's hard. It was hard to watch him do what he was doing to us. I had just shown my family the clip of him, and they were like, "You just won the Elite 11." And he's like, "Yeah, you suck. You suck." And he's like, "And yeah, what if I ever thrown you a bad ball? You drop everything because you suck." And I was like, "God, I hate this guy." He was 18.
He got chased out of a lot of places.
If you want to watch a video of me talking to my buddies at 18, you will also hate me. I'm certain. But it's not stopping me from hating that he was guiding his team down the field somehow with a bit of smoke and mirrors. Yeah. And he's going to hit an open receiver to save his own ass. You know what I mean? He does not like taking the big old hits. But he got rid of that ball quickly, and he made a couple plays, and I was like, we're going to effing lose to Spencer?
And that was the other thing. Chin and Luvu both had catches they should have made.
Oh, Luvu's. Oh, yeah. That was tormenting.
We
had so many chances to close out that game. One thing I didn't love, a young team needs to learn how to close out on either side of the ball, and we didn't capitalize. We did not close out. We missed on the McLaurin. Any one of those McLaurins hits, ball game.
Yep.
Any one of those hits, it's ball game. That's why we took that aggressive approach, which I love. I love it. I hate when teams just hand it off right in the middle 3 times, and they're like, punt team. Good luck, defense. No, we got JD. We got number 5. Let's go. Let's step up and go get 10 yards. And I love but when you don't get it, and then you keep seeing it, and McLaurin's running by dudes, and they're singling up 17. We have got to be that team.
You got to take the shot at it.
And we'll get better at it. And I love that we didn't get out ahead of it and capitalize on those opportunities and still won. That's how you get into the playoffs. Games like that, Hail Mary games and 1-point squeakers in the Big Easy.
Getting into the playoffs requires the Washington Commanders to win this week, and the Falcons to lose, and the Seahawks or Rams to lose. That's a clinching scenario for Week 16. So a part of that is us taking care of our own business. So let's talk about that. I'm less worried about the Rams and Seahawks and Falcons in Week 16, most notably because we get the Falcons in Week 17. If we take care of our business, that game will be potentially a playoff clincher. But let's talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. We got them at home.
Yes, sir.
That's at home on Sunday.
Oh, at the classic Northwest Stadium.
The classic Northwest Stadium game.
The classic Northwest battle.
I watched the Pittsburgh-Philly game in totality. I taped it on a VHS and played it back.
In totality?
In totality.
Be kind, rewind, sir.
I will say I did fast forward or put it on like 2 or 3 times speed because in the second half, like I boiled the game entirely down to one thing. I believe Pittsburgh had 2 possessions in the second half. Those are the things that freak me out. The Eagles are a dominant team right now, and so we have to just be like eyes wide open about what that is. Not that we can't compete, not that we can't do what we do. I'm excited about our game plan. Maybe we should talk a little bit about what we should be trying to do or get back to doing. But Philadelphia is a great team right now. Somewhat, I mean, I hate to use the word, but they're somewhat unstoppable. I mean, they're literally right there at the top of the entire NFL, not just the NFC. And the Pittsburgh Steelers, who we know who they are, we fought them to a 1-point, loss. We fancy ourselves in that category.
I'm not sure how we fancy ourselves.
I don't want to fancy. I don't want to fancy for you, but I will suggest that we like to think they dominated. Pittsburgh had chance after chance after chance after chance, and again they had 2, but because of turnovers and opportunities. But at the end of the day, they only really had 2 possessions in the second half. That's crazy. The Washington Commanders, I mean, if that happens, that's super bad news. Got to get Biotish back. Let's assume we do for the sake of getting things back on track in the run game. But what do you want to see to be the focus against the Philadelphia Eagles?
These guys play the long game. They play the long game. When we played them last time, 3 of our first 4 possessions were 3 and outs for us, punts. They dominated time of possession in the first half. I think it was 18 and a half minutes to like 11 and a half. Our defense hung in there and played tough. Our offense has got to come out and do something early. We cannot come out and have 3 and outs early and let this team. They maul time of possession. They run the shit out of the ball. But if you look at this, the first 5 possessions of that last game we played, 0 scores. Missed field goal, punt, missed field goal, punt. In those first 5, 13 rushes for 49 yards. We're playing some tough-ass defense. They come out and end the half with a field goal, start the second half with a field goal. Those 2 possessions, 13 for 53, 2 field goals fine. At this point, they've got 26 rushes for 102 yards. They've got 6 points. We're in control of this game.
Yep.
Our defense is cruising, but our offense is leaving us on the damn field, leaving our defense out to dry. We got no chance to catch our breath. And what happens in the final 3 possessions of the game? We're done. We're dead on defense. 13 rushes again. But this time, instead of 49 and 53, like the previous 2 13 rush sequences, it's 127 yards and 3 touchdowns. Saquon busts out and goes nuts. All of a sudden, we're getting run down because we were run out of gas. We got gas. We've got to play the long game. We have got to possess the ball early. We've got to make possessions count. We can't do the dumb shit we did in New Orleans. Hopefully, we flushed that out of our system. To have any chance against these guys, we have got to play complementary. So we don't have our defense on the goddamn field for the first 2/3 of the game, so they don't run roughshod on us in the fourth quarter. With the best running back in the world.
I assume
and one of the best running quarterbacks in the world.
I assume Saquon's playing, but he was hurt. He came out of that game and did not go back in. I don't know. I haven't heard. I
assume.
I'm always going to assume that he's playing, but that's not a little thing. Him and Josh Allen are the 1 and 2 MVP candidates.
Lamar, baby, don't ever forget about Lamar.
Lamar always gets my vote, but Saquon is going to have. He's going to be a 2.
Lamar's numbers this year are better than everybody's.
But Saquon, if he gets over 2,000 yards and he gets 4 more wins than Baltimore,
saying you can't leave Lamar out of the MVP race conversation at any level with what he's done. He is. I think he's number 1.
I was asked yesterday who I would start my team with if I had to start an NFL team tomorrow. I said Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
I agree, but I think odds wise, I think Allen and Barkley, Vegas wise, I guess that's more of what I was saying. If you remove Barkley from the Philadelphia Eagles, obviously they're still good, but that's taking away one of the better offensive players.
Take Lamar off the Ravens. Good luck out there.
That's right. So. Let's assume we're playing Saquon Barkley. We haven't done fantastic against the run, but for whatever reason,
listen, he had 26 for 146 and 2. He had the 39 and 23 in the fourth. When we were, I thought we did a great job on him majority of the day. I thought we really did, Ken. But
and we did a lot of times when he was with New York. I mean, we for whatever reason we just like Daniel Jones always played well against us. I don't know. I would like to see. I would like to see Jaden Daniels take some of the earlier patterns that he was doing in the beginning of the season. To me, that's what's been missing the last couple of weeks. And now, he's healthy, or allegedly. No one's healthy in week 16. But hopefully, he's a little bit.
Over the Eagles, apparently, minus possibly
Saquon. Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm not going to go. He's not like holding the ball too long, like a Caleb Williams type of holding the ball too long, but. He has some quick patterns that are available for him and that he hasn't been taking. Now,
New Orleans played some games and did some things specifically to a rookie quarterback that put him in a bit of a pickle and the lack of protection up front. And some of the games that, listen, this is going to happen.
Yep.
This is part of the learning process. Jaden Daniels is a badass, but he hasn't got it all figured out. He's got to see a few more things.
Yep.
He needs a little more seasoning. That cast iron skillet isn't ready just yet. Yep. But it's still one of the sweetest skillets in the cabinet.
I'm thinking, not that this sounds totally crazy, but I like the idea of working Jamison Crowder early in the game. He can't possibly be a emphasis for their defensive coordinator by any stretch.
No, he's a security blanket,
and he's a total professional. Yeah. Like he's probably.
I said he would have a couple first downs. He did have one. I hope you guys thought of me for that one. He had a couple when we were at 3rd and 20. We wanted 10 yards to get field goals. He had a couple nice catches, but. He's
played a great game returning punts.
You can rely upon him.
He's a
10-year veteran. You can rely upon him.
I would love to see them rely upon him in the first quarter and try to loosen some things up as a result of that in that defense and some of the ways that they're calling against us. For example, for Terry, and the other receivers, but our running game. So Brian Robinson hasn't looked exceptionally dynamic as of late. I know it's easy to you don't have Austin Eckler, you don't have Tyler Biotish, the running yards weren't coming as easily to us as they have been. The holes necessarily aren't there, and we're not getting like a ton of quote unquote more yards than the defense is willing to give you. So I'm not going to say I'm concerned about that, long term wise, but I'd like to get we got to get more out of our running game. I mean, there's no other way to say it.
No doubt.
And it can't be Jaden. It has to stop being all Jaden.
Yeah, but you know what? Thank God we do have 11 for 66 up our sleeve when we need it. Yeah. But I agree. No, you can never be. You never just like Jaden, get out there. But that's another reason why I love Lamar. He's taken 8 million hits more than any other quarterback in the world, as he's running faster than any other quarterback in the world can run against all these linebackers. And that's why I adore him. Josh Allen doing the same thing this year. Saquon's just a freak. Those three need to be in the conversation. That's all. And
are you giving Chris Rodriguez any first half carries?
No, I don't think about stuff like that. I've never thought like first half carry. Like if someone gets gassed and we're running the shit out of the ball.
But he's the guy you bring in totally 100% fresh legs in the fourth quarter.
In a rotation, he's going to get a series in both halves. That's what our third down back has been getting essentially.
But we turn to him to close out the game.
Well, it's also when his rotation has been up. So it's not specifically that he's been the game closer, I don't think. I don't think we're like, he's our closer. I think, but when our guys, when we're running, exactly. And they do trust him, or else they would not hand him the ball. There's a reason why he's out there. And he's a physical presence. He's a forward-moving dude. You're not going to have a lot of tackles for loss. He's not back there dancing. He is north-south.
He hits the hole as hard as he can.
And moves the pile. And that's
why he has that. Dan Orlowski had a great quote last night because he was talking about Desmond Ridder. For the Raiders, Desmond Ridder got just battered in the pocket last night by the Falcons, and he came down multiple times that he was being treated on the sidelines. And Dan Orlowski was like, "Hey, listen, I was a backup quarterback, my whole career. That was my job." He goes, "There's no way you hold on to your helmet as hard as you can, and you don't let them take you out of the game because you have no idea when you're ever going to get to play again. If you're a backup quarterback, you take dumb risks. You can apply that to other things, like the Chris Rodriguez's and the Jeremy,
Damn right.
These guys
don't fumble and run your ass off.
Run your ass off. You take if there's this much daylight, you put every single ounce of your being into trying to attack it. Not that Brian Robinson doesn't do those things, but if you're going to get the ball 25 times, it might be just a little bit of a different mentality. Getting that's also Adam Peters. Smartly getting guys who he knows are going to have that attitude. That when they get a chance to be on the field, they're going to make the most of it.
Yeah, I mean, we ran the hell out of the ball against Tennessee, and they are a badass run-stopping defense. Uh-huh. We did not against New Orleans, who isn't. I think Tyler Biotish being back makes everything a little bit better. I really do. And
we need him.
Well, the center, I believe, is the most important position. He's making the calls. Listen, we can't forget the mental side of who Tyler Biotish is. This is an all-pro guy. He's the only guy that's made any line adjustment for the end, making every adjustment at the line. And for the first time all season, he didn't. We got a shit ton of dumb penalties. It was evident. He was missed. His force was missed. His brains and his brawn were both missed in New Orleans on Sunday. And we need him back in Philadelphia to compete. A 3.5-point spread tells me we will compete at home on Sunday. And if we can keep it a one-possession game down to the end, let's see what Old Five can do in a division rivalry. When we thought his biggest comp used to wear that Kelly green years ago, we said he's got some Randall in him. I think he's a more polished version of Randall at an early age, of course. But
he's
Randall was somebody that paved the way for all of these hybrid dudes but they want to be a triple threat. Let me see you punt the ball 90 yards. That's what I really want to see.
Speaking of back in the day, guys wearing green, I thought of Randall Cunningham like leaping over guys, and it made me think like they were playing Marshall highlights from Randy Moss. Shout out to Randy Moss, who we know watches every show on Tuesday nights. But one of my favorite all-time NFL players.
Yeah, can't wait to watch him moss that cancer.
Yep, moss that cancer. But Jaden Daniels, is going to have to make plays against the Philadelphia Eagles. So for me, beating the Philadelphia Eagles comes down to, obviously getting more out of the running game than we've been getting. It comes down to extending drives with guys like De'Ami Brown, Ben Sinnott, and Luke McCaffrey, who have not been, extending drives on a regular basis for us all year long. But they've got to contribute because we know the Philadelphia Eagles are good enough to take away Terry McLaurin, to load up.
I don't think we're going to have Zach Ertz. I just don't imagine, and that sucks against these guys.
It sucks.
This is the team you need them against. You need that power forward to post up and clear out a little space on 3rd and 6 to make a one-handed grab and fall down 3rd and 6 and a quarter inch.
Yep,
he's great at that.
We're going to have to. So does Marshawn Lattimore follow A.J. Brown?
I don't think so. I think when you have a two-headed monster, now I don't know, but I think you have a two-headed monster like that, he shuts down one side, and you got physical guys on the other side. Shane Ristel can go up against both these guys. I don't think you say that because
if you know you're going to shut down like between the hash mark and the sideline on either side of the field, you take that.
That's different. Red zone, it's different.
But you'll take Lattimore
one side of the field
on the short side all day.
But I'm going to tell you this: Philly's a goddamn great football team. Yeah. New Orleans is not. Philly is going to look at this tape and hear all this hype about, they didn't, no targets in 53. You don't think Sirianni's punk ass is scheming something up right now to give his guys, he's going to say, they didn't even target his ass last week. Let's go get one. Trust me. They're coming to test 23. We're going to find out. Because they are not going to sit there and say, the Eagles aren't saying we got to not test this.
That's why I said at the top of the show, Jalen Hurts is throwing to A.J. Brown no matter who.
The JV-ass quarterback situation and in that offense was right to do that.
That's
correct. Stay in that ballgame.
And
the Eagles will not have that mentality. No way.
So we're going to see, I think
we'll
see Shane Ristel. So in years past, recent years and games past, on that, play that we had to make for whatever reason, Emmanuel Forbes lined up against A.J. Brown so many times, and it didn't work out for us. So we're going to see if that changes with Shane Ristel, because I think if Lattimore's not following him, Shane Ristel will be on him on those plays, and so that's probably going to be an alert for Jalen Hurts, depending on the down and distance and the scenario. They probably are going to know ahead of time that they're going to go to A.J. Brown on that play. So Shane Ristel's going to get that chance, right away.
Oh, he's going to, yeah. Well, this is what we asked for. We said, let's get a guy so we can bump down a guy so we can have our two best. Up against someone else's two best. Well, here we go.
Yep.
Shane Ristel is a rookie and Lattimore's a badass. Those are our two best. Let's see what's happening.
They are a better two than we've had in quite some time.
You're damn right.
They are.
That's a fact.
So that matters because Devontae Smith and AJ Brown are about hard to handle as any two in the league. Staying out of short yardage situations with this team because of their the shove that they've become famous for, which is just a play. Yeah, obviously I hate it, but it's just a dread play. I'm just like, I just don't like watching it because I hate the Eagles. I saw a great clip. Jordan Mailata, the captain, their offensive lineman, very good off the sidelines, and he sees Pete Davidson, the guy from Saturday Night Live, and his buddy. They're hanging. I don't know, maybe they're friends, but Pete's standing in the tunnel, and Mailata comes up, sees him, comes over, gives him a big hug, dap each other up, catch up for a quick second. And in that back and forth, you hear Mailata say, I'm getting fucking sick and tired of that tush push. Like, I'm done. I'm like, in so many words, being like, I hate that play. And there's no surprise as to why offensive linemen hate that play. I mean, it's the most brutally violent football play we have. It's 4 or 5 300-pounders beating the crap out of each other at the point of attack and then pushing on each other at that.
If you watch them, they lower their heads and they're about 6 inches off the ground and they're moving like, it's putting yourself in a very tough position. It's putting
the center and the two guards are against the what becomes essentially three. It's like putting 3 300-pounders in the backseat of a Corolla, and buckling them in. It's tight, and they just poof, and I've you don't watch that play and think, man, I bet those guys love that play because they always get a first down. Jason Kelsey, who is a first ballot Hall of Fame center, he was the reason why that play worked to perfection because he's a stud. He's one of the better guys who's played his position. And the guy who's playing center for them right now is not as good as Kelsey, but the offense still has the advantage. They know when the ball is going to get snapped, and they generally speaking should be able to get that 2 or 3 yard rugby play. Point being, it's December. Things are falling apart for Philly in certain ways. Like last year, they crumbled like a whatever you want to say, $2 hooker.
They're on a 10-game win streak.
Last year, they had the world was their oyster, and they fell apart. This year, they're arguing on the sideline. Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown are in like a diva fight. The defensive coordinator or line coach or whoever that was on the sideline this past week was barking at Sirianni and basically like telling him to, F off. Like, and it was just a thing. And an offensive lineman says, "I hate that play." And I like to ball it all up together and think to myself, I think once again, I mean, like, does Jalen Hurts look like he's having fun? Has he ever looked like that?
No,
I know he's a pro.
No, but he's always just.
Is that just his thing?
He stands on business. He is serious as shit. He is he's an absolute badass, and he's serious. He's a leader, and he takes that seriously. He has been the most publicly shamed, like prime time quarterback in the history of the sport, who has just embraced that role and just taken it to a whole new level and made himself into a superstar. Like, he's one of the greatest stories
More than
ever.
Chris Jones after he ran that 40?
No, when the Keebler Elves ran 40s themselves, that's what I know.
Fruit cup. He fruit cupped 36 of those yards. And there was nothing to be shameful. There was nothing to be ashamed of at the end of that. When you run a 40-yard dash and you're basically wearing a unitard and it can't contain you.
and a redwood falls out onto the track.
Like,
that's why I said the Keebler Elves.
They had to give him like an extra half second because of the wind shear. Like it was like a parachute. Like
the fact that those timers were ready to time those up.
He was like, "All right,
this is serious."
We needed those guys for this past week.
I think they were warned by the agent. I think they were definitely warned by the agent that could possibly happen.
Somebody has that unitard behind glass on a wall somewhere, and I'm guessing it's T.
Ken, you're getting fact checked. Let me just read this out.
All right, fact check me. I didn't see it.
You'll need more than just your A game? Question mark. A plus. That comes from automatic sports. So,
did I say we need our A game?
Crumbled cookie. I've heard in Kenny's life experiences. There's a $2 hooker. I'm just fact checking. Not my statement. Not my belief.
Whatever. Crumble cookie, by the way, is my weakness. I lost track of the board. Good to see Luke and some folks here. Spencer Johnson in the house. Good to see you, sir. We got a new timer to the board here. Spencer Johnson, call him Spence. B-Rob has also been running straight up. He wants to see more Rodriguez. I don't think it's a sense of. I don't think B-Rob will get benched for any carries. I just think that. I just think you give him a carry here and there to just be like, hey, listen, go run like a freaking like you're playing 90-pound ball for a play and just go out there and give it everything you got, and then come off and B-Rob comes back out. He runs. He has that kind of reckless abandon thing that we need. We need it in the first quarter, not the fourth. That's all I'm saying.
We can't have 3 or 4 punts on the first 4 possessions against this team. We led or were tied for freaking 65% of the last game. We just could never get off. And I get it. Philly's defense is cool, man. They're a good-ass team, but we're better than we behaved last time. And I do believe Jalen's legs will be of way more value to us. Forget about all the rib gate. He was not himself that night. I believe it was 2 carries for 5 yards or something like that. But whatever it was, that was not the dual threat that we have.
Yep.
We have him this week. We are at home this week at the friendly confines of Northwest.
As we talk ourselves,
it's going to
more
be the first big one
into it.
Real. I'm sorry.
Teams
Dallas,
like
Dallas
ours
was at home. My bad.
It was, but Dallas sucked. I mean, we weren't playing.
It
was a bad game.
We swung at 50 straight sliders.
Yes,
anticipating the fastball.
It was not a high-profile matchup between Cooper Rush we've been taking some lumps. This is two winning teams. That's all. That's the best way you can say it. Two winning teams in the same division are playing each other. Two teams that will finish with a winning record in the same division. There's an outside chance. I don't know if there's an outside chance in the division if we win out and they don't, but it doesn't matter. We have a signature loss on our resume already this year. Yeah. We need a signature win. We want a signature win. Now that signature win can come later or even in the playoffs, but the opportunity for one comes now. And so how do you capitalize on winning this game and taking advantage of the opportunity to quote unquote shock the world? The Eagles will be prohibitive favorites, and they should be
3.5.
So that's a touchdown. After you take into account the home team.
Well, it's 3. Yeah, it's not even
6.5.
Just saying. So it's a thick ass 6.5.
It's a thick ass 6.5. I think if you for example, let's think back. This season with this team, I'm trying to figure out how to approach this game.
I'm thinking back on so many levels right now.
I'm thinking back to the Cincinnati game, the Monday night Cincinnati game. It's the beginning of the season. The Bengals are 0-2. We lost to the Bucks. We beat the Giants with the 7 field goals or 8 however many 1,000 field goals.
7. It was a
and so we're going into a game. Joe Burrow and the Bengals every year start off 0-2, and then they blow somebody out. It's Monday night. And the mentality was, we got to survive this game and somehow, find ourselves a win. So yeah, there we are. Got the Cards and Browns coming up after that game, and so the my thought as a fan was walking into that game being like, we know we're going to get Joe Burrow throwing for 400 yards, Jamar Chase destroying some things, Chase Brown having his way, and right away, we made the plays. So the thing about the Philadelphia Eagles game is we don't need the Philadelphia Eagles to fuck up. You know what I'm saying?
We do.
But I'm just saying, if we hit on end zone corner,
no, we don't need.
If we drop the ball to Terry McLaurin in the back of the end zone, if Ryan Robinson bounces off the outside and goes for 25 instead of 10, we have the guys who can make those plays.
There's a 3.5 point spread.
If our guys make plays,
surprise me.
Our guys make plays, we win. And the cool part about that is we're not putting our hopes in. I'm not going to list names, but the rosters we've put out there in December in past years has been atrocious. The team that we're putting on the field this December, these guys can make plays.
Yep.
And they can make winning plays against a team like Philadelphia. Those throws to Terry this far away, we're going to try him again this week. And there's no reason to think that Terry's not going to be on the receiving end of those balls this week.
With Biotish back to protect.
Yeah.
And also, after we write our Dear Santa letter, Dear Santa, the old line stated of the nation's capital has never, ever once considered throwing a snowball at you. Please keep that in mind this holiday season on the last Sunday before Christmas for my beloved Redskin Commanders. Yeah. Skins.
We've never
considered it. We've never considered throwing a dirty-ass Philadelphia snowball.
Like an ice ball.
At Santa Claus. We just keep that in mind this weekend. That's all.
I don't think they've invented the camera that could make Veterans Stadium look like an inviting place to be on a Sunday afternoon. It's like the color of it. It's not. You can't call it. It's not just green. The color. It's like it's like demonic. It doesn't come through to the world. It doesn't transmit in any kind of way that uplifts your soul. It's just killing.
There's a crease of sunlight and an angry smattering of Philadelphia.
Yes. So now they got the nice the wine and cheese.
Just pay attention to that one real quick. I think there might be something on there worth reading.
Say the Tiger.
I don't know if anyone's ever been right this late in the season.
Okay.
One of the three of us is. I don't know who it is.
Okay, Kevin. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 wins with including the win at New Orleans Saints. So you have us at 8-6, right?
I thought that was my ninth. The New Orleans went.
No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Then it's going to be T maybe.
So
it's be one of us.
T was 1, 2.
Instead of 8 and 5, I said 8 and 6.
5, 6, 7, 8. T has us at 8-6.
And what do I have? Is that 8?
8-6.
You sure?
And yeah. You have as a win. W at the. You have us beating the Bucks, beating the Giants.
I think. Is there white out? No. Is there any?
Now let's count mine up. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
I know
6,
anyone on earth
7,
still might
8,
have a little bottle of white out.
9, 10. So I had us at 10 and 5.
So we have it surrounded right now. We've got it circled. All right.
Yeah, I was 10 and 5. You guys are both 8-6.
All right.
All of which were ludicrous homer predictions in some way, shape, or form. They were all pointing to a winning season for a team with a rookie quarterback and brand new coaching staff. And also, the world is just absolutely, speaking about one tear of sunshine. Angry Joe's.
Oh my God, I'm melting.
So it's close. Now, that said, we did have predictions for this coming week versus the Eagles preseason. Both you and I had us showing up and beating the Eagles this week.
I stand by my story.
T had us losing this game. So we will. So that would push me to 11 and you to 9 wins. The Philadelphia Eagles are beatable. They played like shit last week, and they've mixed in some really.
So did we.
Sure, 2 weeks ago for them.
Sure.
We played like shit against the Saints.
I've got like 1 minute, to be honest.
What's that?
I might have 1 minute left.
Of?
Airtime. Full airtime.
All right. Okay. A fuse has been lit, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. It's like Mission Impossible. Should you choose to accept your mission. Let's get some score predictions. We're going to start with Ken Harris. Eagles, Commanders, Sunday score prediction.
23-20, good guys.
23-20, home team. Ken Harris on the board with a Washington victory. Kevin?
24.
Mm-hmm.
Shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's real also for me in my life.
24-22, good guys. I don't know why. It's because I'm in a full sweat. And
isn't it? Yeah, that is a fact.
Diarrhea.
We're going to say...
The H has to be pronounced for this, sir.
Oh, here we go. This is straight from Automatic Films here. How much trash is your fellow Hall of Famer Maloney talking?
He does. He sends, like, kind-hearted, but, like, sort of with a Philly scent to it. Notes.
Yeah.
Just little text saying, like, going to be going tonight. Going to be high scoring. Birds will win. And, yeah, it's always very nice till the very end.
Yeah.
Kind of like tonight's show.
30-20. Skins. That's 3 field goals at home for us. 30-20. We nailed the ball at the end for our greatest victory of the season. Signature win. 28-27 is your Robert Cohen prediction. Greg Martin, 24-20. Programming note. The next 2 Tuesdays are Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. We'll be running reruns on those nights. I encourage you and your family on these most precious holidays to spend hours watching.
It won't be Mash and Prices Right. It'll be real reruns, not just Mash and Prices Right.
This is going to be...
No saltines and ginger ale.
Let's just say, if you want to know what it sounded like in our basement in 2015, the 3 of us at 3 in the morning talking about Kirk Cousins and whether we should re-sign him, you're in for a treat. But... So we'll be, instead of next Tuesday and the following Tuesday, we're going to be in the next 2 Mondays, which means Monday Night Football will be on during the show, which means we'll be doing a show during some live football.
Christmas Monday show. I hope that's okay with everybody.
Yeah. The Eve of the Eve. We call it the Eve of the Eve.
You got to do something that night.
It's straight Einstein. Just E squared equals, basement. The 2 Mondays will be here, but also... The Redskins game has been flexed to Sunday night against the Falcons. That's the 29th, I believe. Am I right here?
That
believe.
Sunday is, so it's the 13th, 15th, 22nd, 29th, yes.
29th, Sunday night against the Eagles. We're going to be sitting right here live. We're going to have the game on here in the basement.
29th, live against the Falcons.
Live against the Falcons.
A lot of birds.
My bad.
A lot of birds of prey.
So we are live here, and then we will be live again in Week 18 for the Dallas Cowboys. So really some fun days ahead. We'll make the holiday season, fun. So we'll be here two Mondays in a row, watching football together, talking about the Skins, and then we're also going to be here live during the Falcons game and we're going to feel it out together. So please join us for the feeling, mostly for Kevin. He'll be doing most of the feeling. And we're just gonna feel it out. We'll figure out how to do it and how to do it right, and how to have fun.
But if you're feeling like we feel, come through.
If you're feeling like we feel, yeah, that's true. That's a little stranger.
It's a little stranger.
It's a little L to the I to the T.
Yes.
We will see everybody next Monday right here. Please have a fantastic holiday season
but we're gonna have a great show Monday, and it was kicked off by one of our favorite members of the board, MVP of the board tonight, Ken Harris. And Merry Christmas to you, my man.
Merry Christmas, sir.
Love having you here. Thank you for this holiday spirit that was provided. And listen, I get it. You can't watch live during it. Just check us out every couple minutes then, Greg. We're going to have some fun next Monday. And holidays, Christmas is all about family and friends. And this board is on that level as far as I'm concerned. And I know everyone in this basement feels the same way, and including my man T-Bird. So
that's right.
That gives us all a chance to get together for the holiday season.
And also,
we love.
We're going to do a Christmas movie draft for sure on the the eve of the eve. That's happening, Greg. You're going to be in charge of that. But he says I can't watch live during a game. I need to focus. That can't possibly be true because he's like a 1940s like secretary with his typing speed. I've never gotten more text from somebody within like a 7-minute span than him. You're not focusing on shit, so you can at least put this on in the background, and then at least I can. By the way, if all I did was respond to your texts live for 3 hours, that would be a full-time job for me. Like I'm either gonna say it or type it.
Are you saying all you want for Christmas is a text thread with Greg?
Oh no, I'm on a text thread with Greg.
There you go. No, but like a.
I don't need more text threads.
All right.
No more text threads with Greg. No, I love talking about the game with Greg. But all I'm saying is he's focusing on talking.
I agree, Greg. I agree. I wear out a path between the kitchen and the living room, in between each play, and barely make it in between because I just can't sit there and wait.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say at the game, the music and the experience was so cool. I never felt that way, which was the opposite of how I felt my whole entire life.
Yes.
So now I need to be fiddling around and doodling around, and because I can't, because it's great.
The key, so real stream of consciousness. It is stream of consciousness. All I'm saying is, Greg, there's room in your life to have us talking during the game. You specifically, not anybody else.
I've stopped sweating, by the way.
No, you haven't.
I'm just turning a shade of green.
I was like,
green and red, Christmas colors.
We're gonna fix it in post. We have a whole team of people, and
I'm gonna fix it in post.
You are gonna fix it in post. The experience of watching the game. You talk about going to the stadium and watching the game. The cool thing about being there now is it's the black cloud that's been lifted. And it does feel different, and it's worth experiencing. I highly recommend going to a game.
Couldn't agree more. I felt such a connection to my roots, to my people, to my fan base, to my family.
Yeah.
2 nephews, first win ever. Had the whole crew. That happened again.
Every show.
And then you keep on suplexing.
Every show. That's my granddad Al. That's Arlington Cemetery where he's buried. Dude, every single week it falls.
I'm starting to think your Grandpa Al might have something. He's like, if I slide here,
it's usually something you said.
But Wonder Woman always gets her legs kicked out, winds up on top of the portrait, and you seem to take the blame every week. I kind of like.
It is style. Gal Gadot in the exact right location. All right,
she is like the second best Wonder Woman of all time. I mean, it's fine.
He is a dirty old Italian. That's my granddad. But the fun thing about watching the game at home versus the stadium. So the stadium was fun because I tailgated all day long. And you went in, and I just like watching football. So being there live to watch football is if whatever. But being here and being able to watch it, have your kitchen there, but also potentially maybe to multi-screen it, potentially maybe to be focusing on some fantasy, doing some other things.
Potentially hang out with this crew.
Yes, so
that's gonna be cool as shit, man.
So I just want to. Al does want to sip of the Blantons. EO, you're 100% right. I want to try this out. I think it's the way forward for us. To be honest with you, I think everyone. Tell me if I'm not alone in this, and that is when I grew up, as did you guys, Ken included. Sunday was Redskins Day. Really, you went to
1,000%.
church in the morning, and then you went to someone's house and you watched the Redskins.
The whole day was planned around it.
That's right.
Obviously, it was planned around Mass, but sometimes during the season, even Father would understand. Yeah.
Oh, the homily was faster.
Packed at 10.
The homily was faster.
Mass might not be so great.
No, and that's like a daily mass at that point.
Playoffs, Father.
Yeah. So, for us growing up, that was what Sundays was. Everyone brings a dish. You throw in the football in the yard, and you're watching football with a group of people. Now that is I think I would say is less of a sign of the times and more a sign of our specific situation with Dan Snyder and the last 20 years. I've watched so many games alone, just because I have my small kids. I'm not going to make them sit through a freaking 48-10 drubbing against the whoever.
Put your ass down here. Yes. You'll do this.
You need to watch this game.
Finish your plate.
Do you realize Marty Schottenheimer's blah 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 blah? Oh God. So anyway, but I watched.
Hold the rabbit ears. We're only down 30. Holding the rabbit ears was great in the playoffs when you're beating the Rams by 2 touchdowns.
Yes.
Did we sack him again? We did, Kevin. I was like, I knew it.
That
was the best rabbit ear scenario. The rabbit ear scenario, which doesn't exist anymore, has, thank God, because it's been horrendous.
Watching games alone, because the people in my life that were going to watch the game no matter what were less than they were when I was younger. So there would be games I'd be like, I guess I'm watching.
Cutting these fools out this year.
People are
more negativity in Ken's life.
And so we came back to this scenario where we're watching games alone, but we have our text in front of us, and we're on 17 text chains, and we're talking about there should have been a holding call there. Did you see that? And I heard this and all. So I think that doing our show during the game, it doesn't take the place of that necessarily, but it could be a hub for people to have that conversation with us, and so we can't play the sound from the game. We'll line up the game, so we're going to always be kind of at least as much as we can on the same, no delays. But it'll be fun because watching the game together is where we come from.
Agreed, and I can't wait to do that with this crew. Can't wait.
Cool.
All right. If we weren't flexed, it was going to be difficult. So
it's good. That's right. Yeah, because shout out to the 50-year anniversary of Mom and Pops over here.
Just saying, man. Yes.
Shout out to
yes, we're having a party. It's going to be fun.
The next 4 shows are going to be fun for us. 2 Monday night shows, 2 game shows. At Christmas, New Year's, it's pickling season. That's what we're here for. We appreciate you guys. Any last thoughts?
Nah, best board ever. It's so awesome to have a part of the board here while being on the board, while watching this board. You guys are the best. I hope you and your families have the best of the happiness and the health that the big men upstairs could afford to provide for all of you, because what you guys do for us, and we were talking about it with Ken, the bond, the team that we formed. I really do believe in that, man, and it's because you guys show up every week and make all of our weeks better, to be honest. And what's better than that this time of year when you can have friends that make each other's lives a little bit better? Maybe it's because of these guys in the burgundy and gold, but part of it is because there's a bunch of good people on this board, and everyone checks for each other. And this is definitely a muff win for us this week.
This is a muff win. I'm going to play this. Hopefully, I got the right. Because
I do believe we're going to win this week, and I don't know why. Is that weird? Like I know Ken called him. Ken called like.
Here we go.
There we go.
There it is. This was it. The NFL today. Brett Musburger.
Where's Irv Cross?
Irv Cross. Phyllis George, by the way. Phyllis George was on that.
Was this pre or post Jimmy the Greek?
Jimmy the Greek. Prime Jimmy the Greek in the 80s.
Brett Musburger. Bam, 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 bam.
I mean, there it is. All right, just giving you guys a little something extra for the holidays.
They couldn't hear it, Ken.
What? No, they could. They could hear it. Don't hear anything. Oh, damn it! All right. Well, we were playing the NFL Today theme song. Damn it! I can't believe it. That meant you guys didn't hear the theme song. That meant you guys didn't hear Dislocated Boner. Dang it.
No. Absolutely zilch.
Here we go. All right, tell me if you guys don't hear this. I bet you guys hear that. Little Barbara Ann. Little clapping. Anybody? No, they're not getting any of the music. Oh, well. Hey, listen, I'll tell you right now. We're closing it out with E.O. Anderson and the guys from DL. The thong song. The thong song was on. We are still live. And we'll be
Nice job, guys.
Sing the thong song so it doesn't ruin the end of the show. You know the lyrics.
Still nope. Robert Cohen's like, still nope. I wonder if they even heard us. There's a lot of people commenting like they did hear us.
Still live, but shite audio. Manner of Speaking, good show. Still nope. Question mark, nothing. He was playing the thong song. Nope, nope. Absolutely zilch. We got nothing here. Can't hear anything. Don't hear anything.
That's good.
You guys don't remember that Notre Dame show, do you?
The Notre Dame highlight show?
30 minutes at 11:30. Lindsey Nelson would do a summary.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. The Notre Dame highlight show.
The famous thing was we moved to action later in the third quarter. They would just like.
We moved to action later in the third quarter when Notre Dame was beating someone's ass.
11:30 Sunday.